Because the minute you put the blame on someone else, it's no longer your fault and there's nothing you can do about it. Or you don't have to do anything about it because you're a victim. And there may be extenuating circumstances, don't get me wrong, but you can choose to own how you respond. And that's critical. It's critical to what we're talking about today. If we don't take that ownership, these numbers will never get better, and every single one of us will end up a statistic of some sort, just like that. And so I was having a conversation with a friend of mine recently about this idea of ownership, right? And what it means to really take ownership. And so I want to do this drill with you guys here shortly. So the reality is that, again, those are just some of the numbers. We're the sickest country on the planet right now. There's never been a group of people sicker than the population of the United States of America in the history of the world. Even when life expectancies weren't as good, even when, these infectious diseases might have been running wild, there's never been a sicker population than we have today. And until we do something radically different, nothing's going to change. Nothing's going to change. That's why we have to take that responsibility. We'll just keep getting sicker and sicker and sicker every day, every month, every year. And so again, we have to take 100% responsibility. So let's do this drill, okay? So you guys repeat after me again. I am part of the sickest country in the world.
I am part of the sickest country in the world.
And it is what it is.
It is what it is.
I am part of the sickest country in the world.
I am part of the sickest country in the world.
And that's just the way I want it.
Can't do that. Sorry.
Hold on. It's hard to say that, isn't it?
Yes.
What's the point? Unless you take 100% responsibility, then that last statement is completely true. That the sickness and the suffering and the disease that exists for you potentially and for your family is exactly the way you want it. Because if it wasn't true, you do something radically different. Every problem that you have and every problem that exists in your household, either you're okay with it or you're ready to do something radically different. Are y'all with me? And that's a gut check, and that's why that drill is so perfect. Because you don't know what's going to be said. When you do the repeat after me, and then the person who's leading it punches you right in the mouth.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson said, everybody's got a game plan until they get punched in the mouth. You're with me. Yeah, we're sick. We got to fix it. We got to do it. Ooh. I like that statement. But that's the reality. Some of you right now, some of you are laughing. Some of you are like, no, I get it, Doc. I've been here. I've seen I know that's why I'm here. I'm ready. Some of you right now are feeling something in the pit of your stomach. That's good. That's a good thing. You should be feeling it. And it's not your breakfast tacos, Gary. See, you can't hear me sometimes, but I can still hear you. Here's the thing, it's not just about showing up today, though. That's not enough. I know I'm sort of preaching to the choir sometimes. You're just saying, like, Doc, we're here. You don't have to convince us. It's why we showed up. I know, but I've been doing this long enough to know that there's going to be a group of people that will show up and that will sit here. And you guys have heard me say this before, and you'll have the jacuzzi experience. What's the jacuzzi experience? It feels good when you're in the hot tub. And then when you get out, when you walk out the door and you don't decide today, before you leave, exactly what actions you're taking. Not an action you're going to take tomorrow, not an action you're going to take next week or next month. What are you doing today that's going to start to change things for the better for you and your loved ones? Does that make sense to everybody? And that's what we've got to do. So you've got to be ready, and you've got to make a decision today. Everybody say today.
Today.
To take massive action. Everybody say action.
Action.
Okay, so you guys thought you were going to learn how to get six-pack abs today.
All right.
That was all we were going to talk about. We'll get there. Okay, so did everybody, let me see here, where's my clicker? Did everybody get the chance to scan the QR code? Raise your hand if you scanned the QR code and you did the Fast FSA. Perfect. So, forgive me, does it pop up right away or does it go to your inbox?
It pops
It pops up right. Okay, good. So you guys all saw the report start to come out. If you didn't get a chance to do it yet, you'll get a chance, okay? This is awesome. So what happens with this Fast FSA, this is a new tool that we've created that all of you, again, will get an opportunity to do, but it kicks out some really good data, not just for us, but for yourself. It gives you some, it takes some of your subjective feedback and it creates objective data out of it, okay? And so what we get is a handful of numbers that come off of this. You get like 8 different scores here. So you get your vitality score, 0 to 100. Anything under, so like how well is your body working? Anything under 85 means your body's working way too hard just to operate, just to function day to day, just to keep you awake and upright and moving, okay? So anything under 85, we know we've got to start working on some things. Functional age, this is really cool. So if you're 55 and your functional age is 60, that's a big red flag. That means you're operating at an older age than you should be. Things are definitely not moving in the right direction. Like nobody wants to age faster than they actually are, right? We would all like to age a little slower. Right? You hear the person, oh, they age very gracefully. That's what we all want, okay? So I did this just so you know, my functional age was a couple of years younger than my actual age, which was fantastic, right? It's like, yeah, look at me go, okay? And then you get a score in each of your 5 essentials. So if you don't understand what that is, you will before the day's over. We teach 5 essentials. Everything health related falls into one of 5 categories, right? And then in those categories, we teach all the things that we should or shouldn't be doing. And so you get a score in each of those. Now, if you're new to the office, you might be like, my score over there was terrible. Well, that's why you're here and you're learning, okay? For some of you, again, might be a little bit of a wake. It's like, man, I've been working on this for a minute, and my scores don't look that good, okay? So that's a reflection of your lifestyle and the habits and the choices that you're making on a regular basis. So if you're not scoring well in any one area, it simply highlights where we need to put some attention and focus. And then we walk through the steps that you can do in each and every one of those. And then you also got a BMI score, okay? And so anything over 25 is an indicator that you're overweight.
Okay.
And if we get too far beyond that, you might be running into the obese range and so on. No judgment there. There is one caveat. And as I look around the room, no offense, but I don't think this applies to anybody. The caveat to BMI is if you are like a competitive athlete, then that number is not great. When I was younger and playing football, I was always overweight by the BMI chart, but that's because I had a certain amount of muscle mass. Dr. Lou might fall into that category, okay? The rest of us, man, not so much. So don't tell me, well, my BMI is heavy, is a little high, because, you know. I love you all. You can't fool me. I've been doing this for a long time, okay? I've fallen into all the categories at some point. I've been plenty overweight in my BMI, and I've been heavy because I was really fit and really strong, so I understand it. You're not gonna fool me on that, so just be honest with yourself, all right? Don't tell yourself, it's because I got so much muscle mass. It's not happening, guys. We're talking, when I say competitive athlete, I'm talking NFL players, Olympic athletes, right? MLB, NHL, elite athletes. Those are the people or collegiate athletes potentially. Mm-hmm. Those are the people who fall into that category. So just be honest. It is what it is, okay? So this is a great resource because what's cool is it's quick, it's easy. A lot of you already did it while you were waiting. We can redo this periodically. And go, hey, are the scores improving? Is your functional age coming down? Is your vitality score going up? Really quick, simple tool to assess some of these things. And how are those 5 essential scores changing? Have you made some changes and you're seeing that progress? So it's going to be a great tool for us to use for each of you going forward. And we'll talk about how we as a team can utilize that with you down the road. So start diving in here. So here's the reality. 70 million Americans today, that's 1 in 5 people. Again, look around them, have a gut dysfunction. We know that exists. Many of them don't even realize that it's there. And a lot of them are simply medicating certain symptoms. Again, symptoms that they may not relate to their gut. If you watched, if you saw like the promo video we had, or you had a conversation with one of our team members here in the office, as we were getting ready for this event, we kept talking about how the gut was related to all these other areas. And so many people don't realize that this thing that's adjacent to their digestive system is actually being caused by a problem in their digestive system. And just to show you how we're medicating the heck out of this stuff, The antacid market, the worldwide antacid market, is going to hit $9 billion annually in the next couple of years. For acid reflux. It's a $1 billion industry. It's wild. And how, think about that, because how much does that cost? They're not an expensive thing. You go to Walgreens and get some antacids for a few bucks. Right. If they're selling $9 billion worth, right? That's a whole lot of people choking down a whole lot of calcium tablets, right? And again, as we'll show you today, not fixing a darn thing. Robbing Peter and paying Paul. So the real problem, again, most people don't realize that their gut is inflamed. There's an imbalance in their microbiome, and we've normalized things like bloating and fatigue and constipation and food sensitivities and food allergies, and never before have we seen so many people unable to eat foods that have been consumed throughout all of human history. All of a sudden, everyone's got a dairy allergy and a gluten sensitivity and an egg allergy and a peanut allergy and a tree nut. All the nuts are allergic. Everybody's allergic to them now. Right? And why is that? And we're checking it off as, oh, well, that's normal. It just is what it is. Like we said, it is what it is. Nobody's stopping and going, wait, humans have consumed these things for all of human history, and now we've got all of these kids that can't eat these things. You can't send your kids to school with peanut butter anymore. They gave us peanut butter sandwiches at the school when I was a kid. And now they're like, we're a nut-free zone. I'm like, a nut-free zone? What in the world? Antibiotics, PPIs, NSAIDs, they all tear up our gut in the long run, and we're using them to treat symptoms. And so again, here's just a laundry list of some of these symptoms. Fatigue, bloating, weight changes, sleep problems, mood swings, food sensitivity, skin issues, brain fog. It's not normal. It's become so common that we've normalized it. And if we take that even further, again, the list goes on and on. Brain fog turns into things like Alzheimer's, dementia, Parkinson's, things like this. We'll show you how that's all connected. You got poor sleep, now you're tired all the time. Your brain deteriorates because of gut dysfunction. You've got anxiety and depression. You've got skin issues, acne, eczema, all these sorts of things. Psoriasis is another one that's not up there specifically. Blood sugar imbalances, diabetes, goes back to your gut health and your metabolism. Hormone imbalances, sinuses, allergies, autoimmune conditions. Your immune system is closely connected to the gut. Joint pain. A lot of people don't realize that their chronic pain is because their gut's inflamed. And we'll show you how that all works. Again, weight loss issues, cholesterol, high triglycerides, etc. In a room this size, the data tells me that I've hit on something for just about every single one of you at this point. Which maybe, hopefully, that's why you're here. You're ready to make a change for that, okay? So let's kind of go through some of these things specifically, and we're going to show you, as we go today, we're going to show you how these things that seem distant from your gut are directly connected back to the gut, so you can understand that for yourself. And for a lot of you, you may go, oh my gosh. Before we're done today, you're going to go, oh my gosh. My sister, that's my sister. That's like all the things, right? That's my neighbor. They were just telling me, right? And you're going to be able to help them because you understand this. And then before we're done today, we're going to give you a clear action plan on how to go about correcting and healing these gut issues so you can restore your body to normal, healthy vitality. Does that make sense to everybody? That's the goal, ultimately, is to get you back to your very best. So, raise your hand if you felt like this. I slept a solid 8 hours. I woke up still exhausted. Anybody ever? A couple of you, right? Yeah. So when your microbiome, the bacteria in your gut is out of balance, you can't digest and absorb certain nutrients well. So then your mitochondria, which is your energy production in your cells, they don't have the building blocks and the fuel they need to actually produce the energy. So you might get good restful sleep, but your body's not actually building energy anymore. So it doesn't matter how long you lay in bed, you're going to wake up and still not have good energy. It's not about changing your sleep cycle. You've got a system that's dysfunctional. And I can attest to this personally. The cool thing about doing what I do and living this lifestyle and learning new things and new data and new research, I can go, great, I got a great test dummy. Keyword dummy. Just try it on myself, right? So I've paid attention at different points over the years where I notice my diet gets off track, my nutrition changes, and now my energy's off and my sleep's off. I've not been sleeping well, I've got no energy. Okay, take a step back. Let's think about this for a second. Let's analyze. What if I make a couple simple changes? Get back on track with things I know I should be doing, whatever that might be. I mean, it's within days. All of a sudden, you're sleeping like a rock. Your energy starts to improve. It's amazing how quick those changes can happen. But it's not just, oh, I need to get more sleep. If you've not seen that with somebody, talk to some more people, because the numbers of people are like, I sleep and I sleep and I sleep and I never have better energy. I'm tired all the time, right? There's a deeper issue there. Brain fog is not just in your head. You're forgetting names. You're losing focus. You can't accomplish work as quickly as you used to. You're feeling foggy and groggy all the time. Again, that's not just a brain problem. There's a gut problem. Your brain health is directly linked to your gut bacteria. They produce certain neurotransmitters. And when that gut gets damaged and inflamed, you don't keep making those things like you should. So if you heal your gut, your clarity starts to come back. And so we're going to go through a couple of these specifically. So, serotonin. Okay, so serotonin is your happy hormone, right? This is the hormone that's produced when you're having a good time, when you see someone you love, etc., and you're doing something you enjoy. 90 to 95% of your serotonin is not made by the brain. It's produced in the gut. This is so critical. This is going to hit on so many things. 90 to 95% of the serotonin is made in the gut. There are specialized cells that make the serotonin. They're influenced and signaled by the gut bacteria. So you need a healthy gut lining and you need the right bacteria. You don't have to remember this part. The bifidobacterium and the lactobacillus, those are two that produce serotonin, or promote serotonin production by increasing the availability of the building blocks that your gut needs to make serotonin. Is everybody kind of following there? There's not going to be a quiz on that part or anything, okay? But the idea is that you need both a healthy gut and good bacteria to make serotonin. That is what we feel happy with. If we don't have enough serotonin, we can't even experience joy no matter how much we do the things we love. Serotonin production also helps regulate motility. That's things moving through the digestive tract like they should. Gut motility. It affects mood, as we've talked about, and it decreases your pain perception. You're less likely to have chronic aches and pains if you've got a healthy gut producing serotonin appropriately, because it's one of its jobs. You guys seeing how this is all piecing together? Okay? So the imbalance lowers your serotonin signaling, increasing depression, increasing anxiety, increasing things like IBS when we don't have good serotonin. Dopamine. This is your motivation, your reward hormone. This is what you get a little ping of every time you see somebody liked your Facebook post, right? When you go, oh, I got an email, I got a text message. Oh, let me see what that is. That's dopamine. That makes you interested in going and looking at that, just so you know. Okay? It also helps with fine motor control. All right? Everybody stay with me. So the gut microbes, in this case, they don't produce much dopamine, but they make the precursors. Tyrosine, phenylalanine. The gut microbes make the things that are necessary to produce dopamine. Certain bacteria, there are some bacteria that make it, but it's a small component. The majority is just made by the gut. But the inflammation and the imbalance there decreases your dopamine production. So again, unhealthy gut, we got no serotonin, now we got no dopamine. Parkinson's research strongly shows that gut microbiome disruption leads to impaired dopamine production. Gut issues, depression. Gut issues, Parkinson's disease. You guys starting to see this come together, okay? It's not just, I don't poop often enough, okay? That's what I was trying, for 3 weeks now, I've been trying to get people to understand in the office. It's not just about, do I feel funny in my tummy? That's so superficial to what's going on with your gut. It's so much deeper than that. And then we've got GABA, okay? This is your brain's main inhibitory neurotransmitter. It calms the brain. It lowers pain sensitivity as well. It calms hyperactivity. So certain bacteria strains directly produce GABA. Those signals, or those neurotransmitters signal your vagus nerve, which is the direct connection from the gut to the brain. There is an instantaneous connection that can happen through the vagus nerve from your gut to your brain, from your brain to your gut. Good microbiomes, better GABA production, we have reduced anxiety, lowered stress reactions, better sleep, less pain sensitivity. Guys, getting this? It's critical. It's so critical because when you understand how it's connected to all the things, it makes overcoming the obstacles a lot easier. And that's so important. Because as we go through this, you're all going to come up with 10 reasons why you can't, you shouldn't, it's hard, you don't understand my situation. And if we don't overcome that, then we're going to be in the same place tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. Some of you will show up at my seminar that we'll do in January, and you'll be dealing with the same issues you're dealing with today because your excuses were bigger than your understanding and your why behind why you should do it. And that's not what I want. That's why I'm pressing in on this so hard. So we'll look at skin issues. Your skin is a direct reflection of the health of your gut. When the gut is damaged, it shows up in the skin oftentimes. So again, these rashes, acne, eczema, psoriasis is another one. If there's inflammation in the gut, you end up with inflammation in your skin. Anytime we see patients coming in, especially with eczema and psoriasis, there's a gut issue. We know immediately it's not a skin issue. We can put creams on it and salves and lotions and potions and all the things, right? But if we don't figure out the root cause, then we still have the same issues. How about hormones? It's not a hormone problem, it's a detox problem. So, hormones like estrogen and cortisol and testosterone, okay? I love this. I love when I start talking about hormones, and then the guys in the office are like, oh, hormones. I'm like, oh, really? Okay. Somebody failed biology. Estrogen. I was like, I'm like, have you heard of testosterone? They're like, well, yeah. I'm like, what do you think that is? Oh, yeah, it's a hormone, okay? And just so you know, ladies have testosterone and fellas, you have estrogen. We just have them in different balances, okay? So estrogen, cortisol, testosterone, they have to be processed and cleared through your gut and your liver. There's a metabolism that happens when your body utilizes hormones. They're not just in there circulating forever, right? They get processed, utilized, and they get metabolized and recycled. Some of the key components can get recycled and reused. Some of it kind of burns off essentially, and then you have to rebuild the hormone, and it does its job again. Is everybody with me on this simple process, okay? If your gut's inflamed, the hormones recirculate. They don't break down like they should. So we get this whole cascade that happens, for instance, of testosterone when it's not metabolized properly. The body has a natural process to convert it into estrogen. So we end up, when we're not processing the hormones properly, we end up with this excess estrogen because the estrogen is not breaking down. The testosterone then naturally goes through the process of converting to estrogen, and now we've got excess estrogen. There's a couple of other ways that we end up with this estrogen dominance, but we've got this massive situation in America where we are estrogen dominant as a society. And this leads to a whole slew of issues. So female issues like female cancers, PMS, weight gain, hot flashes, irritability. A lot of this stuff comes from this estrogen dominance, this hormone imbalance. For the fellas, it's the low T. We literally have an entire franchise system of medical clinics designed to treat men who don't have low T. You're estrogen dominant. So what do? Inject some testosterone in your booty and say, go ahead, keep going. You're fine. We'll just give you synthetic testosterone for the rest of your life. Does it fix the problem? Why is your body not having the right balance of testosterone? Do you guys get that? Like, we have to ask better questions. Oh, I just went in and I got the pellets. Every 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, I'm fine. Are you? You shouldn't be in a place where that has to occur. If it is, and you're doing that, you're not getting to the root cause. And this leads to feminine men. I don't have any facial hair anymore. My muscle mass sucks. My libido's in the tank. I've got no drive. I've got other problems. I've got weight gain. I've got feminine weight gain. This is what, pardon my language, I'm very politically incorrect. This is where your man boobs are coming from. At least somebody thought it was funny. Because I'll tell you, man boobs aren't funny. It's not attractive and it's unhealthy. It's not good. So we can laugh at it, but we've got to acknowledge what it is. Okay? You don't need to replace your hormones. You've got to clear them through your natural processes properly. Otherwise, we're never going to get better. How about allergies? Oh, I just got allergies. What kind of allergies? The normal ones. I love that. I just got normal allergies. What the hell does that even mean? Normal allergies. And it's not just, unfortunately, your genetics. Well, my mom had allergies too. Okay, that doesn't explain it away. 70% of your immune system lives in your gut. Unhealthy gut, you have an unhealthy immune system. So your immune system is overreacting to things it should ignore. That's what's happening when we have allergies. If we're all sitting here this morning and we're all breathing the same air, and you have allergies and I don't, it's not the air, it's you. It's your response to the air. Does that make sense? We're breathing the same thing. If you're overreacting and I'm not, it's you, it's not the air, okay? I'm not lucky that I don't respond to the things that you do. That's not how it works. There's a reason for that. When we've got a damaged gut lining, there are particles and proteins that should never make it into our bloodstream that find their way in. And then because they were never meant to be there, your immune system sees it as a foreign invader and it responds. And that's dust and pollen and pet dander and foods that get through this leaky, damaged gut lining. And so now your immune system's on high alert. So if we fix the filter of the gut, we allow the immune system to return back to balance. And now it's not over-responding to things it shouldn't. Does that make sense to everybody? And we'll show you where this leaky gut stuff comes from. Joint pain. So oftentimes people go, I'm just getting older. I got XYZ, ache, pain, whatever. I've got arthritis. This is one of my favorites. Doc, my knee hurts. What's going on with your knee, John? Well, I went to my medical doctor and he said I got arthritis. Well, why do you think you have arthritis in your left knee? Well, my doctor said it's my age. How old's your right knee? I mean, right, we giggle, but how many people take the anti-inflammatory home and don't ask, how old's my right knee? They just take the anti-inflammatory. They get the steroid shot. Right? Or I look at x-rays, right, all day of spines. So people will come in and they'll say, I know I've got arthritis in my spine. Here or there. Again, if it was age, which joints in the spine should be deteriorating? If it's age. Every single one. I could pull up x-rays. I pull up x-rays of patients in this room who've got joints in the spine that are pristine, and you move a level or two away, and it's arthritic, and it looks like it's 90. They say it looks 90. Just FYI, your joints should last you how long? Your whole life. You should go to the grave with joints that still work like they did when you were young. Maybe not perfect. We do age a little, all right? Let's not be unrealistic. But this arthritic, oh, everything's falling apart, I'm just getting older, it's all nonsense. It's all a farce. Well, if we just tell you it's age, what can you do about that? Nothing. So you'll take my drugs and you'll smile while you do it. And we don't fix the problem. So if we fix the inflammation in the gut and we calm down these things, so what happens is, let me give you a little specific here. these inflammatory things, much like the allergies, these proteins and things like that, find their way through the leaky gut. The immune system attacks it, right? And these particles, they look for a place to hang out. They find a weak link. Well, the joints happen to be a weak spot, if you will, for these things to hang out. So the immune system keeps attacking these particles as they come into the system. Now, it will break them down and clear them out, but guess what happens the next time you eat or sneeze or breathe or whatever? You bring more of that junk into your system. So it goes to the joint. So this is why we see such chronic joint pain, especially with autoimmune conditions. Right? When we see rheumatoid arthritis and psoriatic arthritis and so on, and we're like, oh, my joints, I think I've got an autoimmune thing or whatever. Why would an immune system issue attack joints? This is how. And it starts with those things making their way in through a damaged gut. And that's why anti-inflammatories never fix the issue. You have to take them forever. Or steroids, right? You have to go, whether it's oral steroids or getting injections, and you have to go do that periodically, okay? So, gut health is whole body health. Your gut talks to your immune system. 70% of the immune system lives in your gut. Your hormones, again, so many of these hormones and neurotransmitters are made in your gut. Your metabolism, obviously your basic ability to digest food, to absorb nutrients, to make energy comes from the health of your gut. Your joints, your skin, everything pays the price when your gut is damaged. So if you want to heal, this is where it starts. Whatever's going on, there is a critical component to a healthy gut at the core of almost every health issue that you can think of. And so this idea of leaky gut, what does that really mean? Where does it come from? How does it happen? Okay? So I'm going to walk you guys through this a little bit here. All right? So, if we look up here, so this is a healthy gut on the left and a sick gut on the right. So don't get too worried about it. Just focus right in here for now. Everybody see my laser pointer there? Okay. So these are the individual cells that make up your gut lining. Your gut lining is literally one cell thick. It's razor thin, which makes it exactly the way God designed it. It's perfect when it's healthy, but it also makes it susceptible. Damage can become a problem really fast because there's no second or third layer there. It's one single cell thick. Okay, so these cells right here are joined. I know you guys can't read those words right there because they're tiny. These are called tight junctions. Those cells are bound together exactly like it sounds. They're held together very tightly so that the permeability can be controlled. So that the good things can get in, controlled, the bad things can get out. The bad thing, I should say, the bad things that come into your digestive system can stay there and move out the back door like they're supposed to, right? And the good things can be absorbed, right? This is how it's supposed to work. And when that happens, we see everything in balance. So we've got all the good bacteria in here. The gut lining is doing exactly all the things it's supposed to do. I won't bore you with too much of that, okay? And then that creates in the rest of the body, we've got improved metabolism, we've got good insulin sensitivity, our inflammatory markers are right where they ought to be, they're not too high, they're not too low. Everything is doing exactly what it should do. So what happens is, when we get this leaky gut scenario, those tight junctions start to break down. And now, partially digested food, bad bacteria, even good bacteria in the wrong place can be a problem. So it starts leaking into what would be considered the interstitial space. What that does is it eventually makes its way into the blood. So now we've got pathogens, we've got food particles, we've got proteins, we've got allergens, and all of that stuff's making its way out of the gut and into the body, so the immune system responds. We've got an inflammatory response. We've got a whole cascade of things that starts to happen. Now we become more insulin resistant, and I'll walk you through how some of this happens. We've got higher glucose levels, so now our blood sugars are out of whack, right? We've got this, again, immune response, all this inflammation happening, and if that goes on long enough, we end up with these amyloid deposits in the brain. That's brain degeneration. That's cognitive decline in time. All of this is a well-documented cascade of events that happens when we've got leaky gut. How do we get leaky gut? Glad you asked. I need 2 volunteers. Jenny and Amanda. Don't everybody jump up at once. Jeez. Oh, yeah. They're like, what's he gonna do? You're just gonna stand here and look pretty, so it's fine.
All right.
Come on up. Okay, hold that.
What?
Okay, you go that way. Jenny, you come over here and hold this. No, that's a different demo that we'll do on a different day. That's not today. We actually do that. It's fun. I usually make Dr. Lou be the guy who gets wrapped in plastic for, safety reasons and whatnot. All right, so this plastic wrap very accurately depicts the strength, the thickness of your gut lining. That's it, okay? You can literally see through it. This is what happens. How do you end up with this leaky gut?
Yeah.
There are things that we do that will damage the gut lining. Okay? Ready? I ate some sugar. I was told to stop eating sugar, so I used Splenda, sweet and low, aspartame. Then I started having reflux, so I took some antacids. My doctor told me I needed to be on an antibiotic. I got so sick and tired of feeling that way, I went out with my buddies and I ate a bunch of processed garbage, some hot wings and some burgers and some fries, and a couple pitchers of beer.
Yeah, right.
My doctor put me on statins because now I've got all this inflammation and my body's responding exactly the way God designed it to, and so my cholesterol showed up high. So they put me on statins and blood pressure medication, and that wasn't enough, so they gave me another one. And now I've got back pain, so they gave me some steroids. And I'm pissed off about all that, so I drink more. And I eat whatever I want. And I'm crabby. And I don't sleep, so I started taking a sleeping pill.
It's not that bad.
And now you wonder why all this crap makes its way into your system. And guess what? Your body's so freaking smart, it's constantly trying to heal this. But you wake up tomorrow and you do the same stuff over and over again. You take the pills, you eat the garbage, you drink the stuff you shouldn't. You guys see the problem? And it's literally that simple. Because again, it's so razor thin. It's one cell. All you do is damage one single cell and you start to create a gap in those junctions, and now stuff can get through. And if it was just occasional, if it was just a little bit, if it was just once in a while, your body could heal and overcome that. It's the chronicity of it. And let's not put in there, and we'll go through this a little bit. I won't get too far ahead of myself. Just some examples of how this happens. You're like, why do I feel like crap? You start to see it. Does that make sense to everybody? Is everybody getting this? Okay, this is critical. This is absolutely critical to understanding where we got to go today. Okay? Perfect. Thank you, ladies. Clap for them. I said all you gotta do is stand here and look pretty. They did a great job. Okay. So the other thing that happens is then we have that leaky gut that leads to an imbalance in your bacteria. Because the bacteria, like I said a moment ago, it gets into places it shouldn't be. It allows for the bad bacteria again to sneak into places it shouldn't be. So it's not just, oh, I got some bad bacteria. It's even the good bacteria that you have to have getting where it's not supposed to be. That's, again, really important to understanding that. Because all of this plays a role together. It all works together. It's not, this is why somebody, I took some probiotics and it seemed to help a little bit, but it didn't really get me where I wanted to go. Does that make sense? Because you're not completely healing the entire system. Okay? We've got to look at all of it. And then again, as I've kind of alluded to already, what do? We start having these symptoms. Where do we go? We go to the doctor. We get antacids that block natural acid production. The acid that is critical to being able to digest your food. Right? The acid that actually plays a role in killing off things that shouldn't be there. And this way you can eat something that's got some bacteria in it and not necessarily get sick. Your stomach acid can wipe all kinds of stuff out. It's a brilliant design by the creator, okay? So we need that. So we lower our acid production and we actually don't digest our food as well again. We take antibiotics Antibiotics is like, there's a bad guy holding some people hostage at AT&T Stadium, so we drop a nuclear bomb on it that wipes out DFW. That's what antibiotics are, when you put them in your gut. Right? There's a few bad guys, and we're just going to wipe out the whole town. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything in between just gets wiped out. And so now you don't have all those good bacteria that are producing all those important hormones and neurotransmitters and communicating with your immune system and talking to your brain and all the other things we talked about. It's wiped out. This is so important. Raise your hand if you've been on more than one oral antibiotic in your lifetime. Your bacteria is shot. Raise your hand if your kids have been put on them. Y'all are lying. Not enough hands went up. So we put these, I see brand new babies put on antibiotics. 1, 2, 3, 5, 10, 12 years old. They're on their 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, 10th round of antibiotics. And then we're shocked that they've got eczema and allergies and all these things, okay? Antidepressants. Doesn't fix your brain, not even a little bit. Doesn't even address the brain. Doesn't touch it. They just numb it. How do they do that? So we talked earlier about how your body processes hormones like testosterone, estrogen, progesterone, etc., right? How there's this metabolism that occurs and it cycles through, it utilizes the hormone, it breaks it back down. Some of those building blocks can get recycled, but your body makes new ones, and so on and so forth. And it's this ongoing, constant cycle, right? What is the most common form of antidepressant? They are called SSRIs, selective serotonin reuptake inhibitors. Reuptake is another way to say metabolism. It's metabolizing those hormones and cycling through them. So what we do with an SSRI is we inhibit the metabolism of serotonin selectively. So instead of allowing your body to go through its God-given process of utilizing serotonin as it's made, metabolizing it, breaking it back down, recycling the components it can, and making more, it blocks that process. So the serotonin goes in and does its job, and then instead of getting recycled, it stays there. It keeps pushing it back out. So what happens is, I believe it's a twofold problem. Number one, the serotonin is supposed to be recycled. It's not supposed to get used over and over and over and over again. It wears out. It doesn't work as effectively as it should. I believe that's a piece of it. But the bigger piece is this. If all we do is take what little serotonin we have and we try and keep it in circulation, what if we're not fixed? Where's the issue, right? If we draw somebody's labs and we go, you need an SSRI. You don't have enough serotonin in your system. We didn't fix the problem. We didn't figure out why is your body not making the serotonin. Do you guys get that? So we take the SSRI, the underlying issue of serotonin production stays in the tank, and then what happens to these people? Do you know the number one side effect of antidepressants? Depression and suicidal tendencies. Every single one of them has that listed as a side effect. Not to get too far off track, every school shooter in American history was on one. Every single one was on an antidepressant. What if we just got these kids healthy? What would that look like? So you suppress the symptoms, your body's screaming for an answer. And none of these things are an answer. So we have a health system that's trading symptoms for side effects. It's not you're not failing in that system. The system is literally failing us. It's failing us, but it's not a broken system. It's working exactly the way it was designed. Get them sick, get them drugged, keep them that way. And again, the only way it changes is if we own it. Okay? This is a big talking point. GLP-1s, Ozempic. Quick fix, it's easy. They're being prescribed like crazy right now for diabetes and weight loss. These are synthetic versions that mimic a hormone your body naturally makes. It's GLP-1. That hormone regulates blood sugar and appetite. So what happens when we're injecting these is we override the body's natural signals. So we slow down stomach emptying, which makes us feel fuller longer. So then we want to eat less. We trick the brain into feeling full, and then we force the pancreas, it triggers the pancreas to pump out more insulin inappropriately. So in the short term, yeah, people lose weight, the blood sugar stabilizes, they might even notice that they're having less cravings for food and so on, so they're eating less. But the problem is they interfere with our natural digestive rhythm. So we end up with, oftentimes for a lot of these people, they start having all kinds of symptoms: nausea, bloating, constipation, fatigue, even vomiting. And for some of those patients, they go, well, this ain't right. I'm done with that. That's not the answer. But some people are like, if it throws up, it can't make me fat. It's fine. I feel terrible, but at least I'm losing weight. Like the logic is so flawed. And so then the body's not adapting well, by the way. If you're having any symptoms as a side effect to this stuff, your body's clearly not adapting. But here's what doesn't get talked about. The best research we have to date says that the majority of that weight loss isn't coming from fat. You're not losing fat. You're losing bone and lean muscle. You're hijacking your body's metabolism. So the concern now becomes, if you're losing lean muscle and your bones are getting thinner, you're eroding the foundation of your body. And when you do that, here's the crazy thing. Like a lot of people go, yeah, well, that happens as we get a little older. Okay, maybe there is a natural aging process that can occur. But if I'm losing that muscle mass and that bone density at 30 or 40 or 50, you may not be able to ever get that back again later on. Your chances of sickness, ailments, and your levels of frailty go through the roof. Slips, falls, broken bones are much more likely to occur. And then we don't even know some of the long-term effects about how this is affecting the pancreas, because again, the drug hasn't been out long enough, right? It's always amazing to me when they're like, we've been doing some research for like 5 minutes and here's what we're seeing, so let's put this thing on the market for this thing. And then remember, I say this all the time, every drug the FDA pulls off the market for killing people, the FDA first said was perfectly safe.
That's right. That's right.
So when they go, it's FDA approved, I go, who cares? These guys are idiots. They're bipolar. It's saving lives. It's killing people. Take it off the market in 2 years. Because that's how it happens, by the way. They'll pull it off the market, but it's killing people. It's not good. It's causing some problems. Y'all got about 800 days to sell it out. And we got to come up. You know why? We need a couple of years to come up with a new formulation and a new patent that'll replace it. And then we'll say that's the latest and greatest miracle drug. And then we'll put that on the market. And then another 3, 4, 5 years down the road, we'll take that one off the market. You guys realize that dealing with the medical system and trusting the FDA in America is the most abusive relationship I've ever seen. They beat the hell out of you and your loved ones, and you keep going back. Oh, this one's the one. This time they're going to change. They're going to tell us that this is the great drug. It's going to do it. It's insanity. It's the definition of insanity. So we have no idea what it's doing to the pancreas. We have no idea what it's doing to the thyroid because we haven't studied it long enough to see the long-term effects. Because if you come off of this, it's awful. The side effects of coming off of it are awful. Weight gain, you start to gain more and more weight. And again, you don't just suddenly put lean muscle mass back on while you sit on your butt and don't take your drug anymore. What are you putting on? So you've got less muscle, less bone density, and you've gained even more weight again when you stop taking it. So how well is your frame going to carry that extra weight? It's not. It's not a solution in the slightest. So that can't be an answer for this issue, okay? I know I've got patients that are taking it. There may be somebody in this room that's taking those. Please hear me. I'm not beating you up. I care about you too much to let them lie to you about this and not tell you the truth. That's my job. I'm not here to pat you on the butt and go, it's okay. It's fine. So you can walk in here in 6 months or a year or 2 years and I find out that you're having a major health crisis as a side effect of a drug that I just said, it is what it is. It's not my job. It's not why you're here. It's not why you pay me. I care about you too much. Just so you understand this, love tells the truth. It doesn't sugarcoat it with a bunch of BS because it might hurt your feelings. I've tried it both ways, and I don't help very many people when I just sugarcoat it and make them feel good about their poor choices. I'm here to help people. I'm in the business of seeing people get well. So you may not love what I have to say. I've had plenty of people tell me that. It's kind of harsh. The facts are the facts, and they don't care about our feelings. So please don't feel beat up by that. Just know I'm telling you the truth because I care. Okay? A quick note on this, SIBO, small intestine bacterial overgrowth. So in simple terms, the bacteria that we're talking about in our gut is meant to be in the large intestines. That's where it's supposed to, not in the stomach, and it's not in the small intestines. But when that bacteria gets in the wrong spot, as I said earlier, even if it's the good bacteria, but it's in the wrong place, it creates a whole bunch of problems. And that's what this is. It's that bacteria moving from the large intestine to the small. And then we start ending up with these things where, again, I took probiotics and I felt more bloated. I ate a salad and I felt bloated afterwards. Right? That's a fermentation problem because the bacteria is processing that and putting off gases in the wrong part of your gut. And so what we have to do is identify that process or that problem, and there's a very specific process. So the only way to identify SIBO is to run labs, just FYI. But this is a problem that we see. So for some of you, as we go through some of this, you're going to go home, make changes, you're going to go through the gut healing protocol, and you might potentially, if we don't run any labs, you'll see progress for sure, but there might be a little bit of a limitation there. And just understand that, and this isn't a terribly chronic problem, but it does exist. And so again, the only way to know that for sure is to actually run labs, but it is part of the problem. It is part of the equation for some patients. And so I have to acknowledge that because again, what I don't want is somebody to go, hey, I went home, I made changes, I did the protocol, etc. And then you're like really, really mad or frustrated that you didn't quite get the result you were after. And that's simply because there can be additional factors that we've got to identify. Raise your hand if you've run some labs in our office. A couple of people have, okay? There's a lot of stuff that comes back on that, all right? Not everybody needs to run off and run a lab, okay? That's not what I'm recommending. Oftentimes, we start with this gut healing protocol for so many of our patients, and then if we're not seeing certain results or whatever, then we run additional tests. Or if we know that there's a gut issue, because again, all the things we've looked at already today, we know there's a gut issue involved. You couldn't possibly have all these things and not have a gut issue, so let's start there. Then maybe we run a lab. Let's get some basic things moving in the right direction. Then we'll run labs and see what else we need to tackle. So just understanding that. And then we've got things like this. So we go to our doctor, right? We take the drugs, but we feel really good because we're like, oh, I've got IBS. So you go to your doctor, get this, you go to your doctor, and you're like, doc, when I eat, I get like bloated and irritated, like in my bowels, and your doctor says, oh, you have irritable bowel syndrome. Syndrome. Thank you. Can't get the word out. You have irritable bowel syndrome. You're like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. He goes, no, that's what we call it. How long did you go to medical school, doc? Patient comes in and says, I have all these symptoms, and he leads them back to you in Latin, and now he feels good about himself. Do you know that I have patients come in and they go, I went to my medical doctor, he said I have lumbago. Ego means pain, lumbo means low back. That's low back pain in Latin. Congratulations, your doctor's a genius. So what's causing it, doc?
Right.
Here's some anti-inflammatories. Irritable bowel disease, they're just labels, guys, that's the point. If we don't identify why, if we don't remove the triggers, if we don't heal the gut, if we don't support that system, we keep having more and more issues. Same thing with acid reflux. Talked about this a little bit earlier. So what happens here, give you a little more context, is that reflux, it's a real thing. The acid's coming up, but how? So what happens is when you're digesting food, there's a fermentation process that can happen. And eventually, if things, right, we talked about motility, things moving through the system like they should, right? If things don't move like they should, that pressure starts to build. And what happens is there's a sphincter at the top of your stomach. And it can only do so much before it's got to give. And now that acid starts to bubble up. So it is very real. It is reflux. It is acid coming up. But it's not from the overproduction of acid. And there's a neuromuscular component to that as well. So why that sphincter isn't closing, we'll talk about that. It's from the acid being in the wrong place. I mentioned earlier, it's a $9 billion industry, but it completely ignores the root cause. Why aren't things moving through the gut like they should? Why isn't that valve staying closed? And potentially, are there other factors like, are you eating a really acidic diet? That can actually play a role in it as well. And then gluten. Gluten sensitivity, anybody? Yeah, it's not the gluten itself, it's what the gluten did. It's where the gluten ended up. It doesn't show up overnight. Right? Most people that have celiac disease or gluten sensitivities have eaten it for years, and now they're having problems. This is one of those things I talk about. How do you have this go on for years with no issues, and suddenly it's an issue?
Okay.
It can't be the gluten itself. It's a result of years of damage. So again, you damage the gut like we talked about. Once that happens, the gluten gets through the leaky gut. That's when it's a problem. Celiac disease, gluten sensitivity, gluten intolerance is a leaky gut problem where the gluten has now, along with all the other things, eroded the gut lining to the point, because there is an effect of gluten potentially causing a break in some of those tight junctions. That is a piece of the puzzle. But again, how do you eat? That in and of itself will not cause this issue, okay? The reason you've got celiac or gluten issues is not from gluten alone. It's all of these things eroding the gut lining and the gluten getting through the leaky gut, and now your immune system's responding to it. So you can cut out the gluten all you want, but if you don't rebuild the barrier, you're going to continue to have additional issues down the road. So, can everybody see how the gut is intricately connected to pretty much every other system in your body? And if you want to heal any of those other foreign areas, so to speak, you have to start with healing your gut first. My whole goal through this first portion was to show you whatever that other issue is. Because I'm hoping that some of you were here because you're like, you understood what we were trying to tell you. Wait, so you're telling me that my XYZ issue, my sleep issues, my mood, my fatigue, could actually be coming from my gut? Yes, that's what we're telling you, okay? My goal was to show you how, because when you understand it, the more you understand what's happening with your body, the easier it is to make the changes necessary. That's what I've learned. I can throw stuff at people all day long. Hey, you should do this, you should do this, you should do this. But if you don't understand how it affects you directly, it's really easy to brush up like, I don't know, that sounds hard. And I don't know if it's worth it because I don't have that problem. At least you don't think so. All right? So, at this point, chances are some of you are ready to stretch your legs just a little bit. This is the number one complaint I get at an event. I had to pee, and you kept talking. So we're going to take a little break. Don't everybody get up yet. Miss Linda already got up. She needs to stretch. It's okay. Okay. We're going to take a little break. 15, maybe 20 minutes. We're real quick, okay? Plenty of time for everybody to use the restroom, okay? Freshen up your coffee. Y'all have water here by you. Get another snack. Please get a snack. Don't tell me you got hangry on the second half either, right? Because we got stuff up there, okay? Good stuff. Get a snack, stretch your legs. If you didn't get a chance to do the fast FSA, okay, if you don't know what that is, scan the QR code. It takes like 5 minutes. Fill that out because you're going to need that later to understand what we're doing, okay? Does that make sense to everybody?
Makes sense, Doc.
Okay, everybody, go. Take your break.
I kind of want to take that and put in my answers or text with my score would be.
Did you do it both? You should do both. Do it twice.
I did it.
Yeah, you can do it again. Yeah, you can do it again.
Which
And
also,
when you fill in your name, just go, put your name and put 6 months in.
okay.
Yeah, that way when it pops up, obviously we'll know.
Yeah.
But it'll give you some, it'll be easy for us to look at.
It
Yeah.
says my age is 27, which is what I am.
Yeah.
And I feel like 7 months ago, this was
35.
yeah. My BMI is 28.
Yeah, but that's right.
Better than my
right.
32 I was.
That's right at a healthy level. Is it 29? 29 is over 29 is overweight. I think that's right.
20, they say 25 to 30 is
Normal.
overweight.
Is it?
20 to
18 to
25
25 is normal.
normal.
Yeah, so you're still.
25 to 29 is overweight, and then 29 plus is more obese.
Yeah.
Or, yeah. And I was obese.
But no, I mean, that's what we're saying is several months ago. It is because part of that for me, but yeah. So part of that is, again, doing what we do, patients come in, and sometimes you see that they're like, these patients are gaining instead of getting healthy. And sometimes it's, again, because there are deeper issues, like we talked about. And other times it's just like they're not taking steps, And so there's a balance of like, are we taking steps or what's the issue? So, and that's where if we're taking steps and we're not seeing results, we can figure out. Which is really where a lot of testing and stuff came from. Years ago, it was just like, and that's, I mean, still to this day, a lot of times that's the conversation. You're talking to the patient, how's this, how's that, this is good, oh, that's good, this is okay. I mean, you're doing way, even if there's room for improvement, you're doing way too good to be going in the wrong direction. So what else is happening? Yeah. So, yeah, do it again. That'd be interesting. What's up?
So you're gonna tell us,
How to fix it?
Yeah.
That's the whole second half.
well, I figured that was something else. When you know somebody who's taken the Ozempic, and you
Love that.
manage to convince them to stop, how do they stop?
Well, I mean, you just gotta stop. And it sucks. Potentially. It can be rough.
In what way, for how long?
Well, everybody's different. Some people take it and no side effects. And other people like, I took it and I felt awful. So if they take it, it's like anything. So one guy takes a drug, has a stroke and dies, another guy takes it for 20 years. It's like, so, is it somebody I know that you're talking about?
Probably.
Yeah. I mean, step one is just acknowledging that it's an issue. And anything that, it can be hard, and that can be withdrawals and side effects and all that, but at the end of the day, if it changes everything, you should. Because you're gonna keep losing it, you're gonna keep losing it, so you're gonna keep having a damaged gut. Such a good I mean, it's okay if we don't. Yeah. It's we're gonna post it to YouTube, and I may go in and specifically clip out sections that would be easy to share, like the social media type reels. There's an app that can do a couple of there's technology to go. This is a good little segment, and this is a good little segment. Sometimes I just keep my eyes on I'll watch those little segments. And this is good, but they missed it 30 seconds before that. It's critical, so I can go in and rewind it back over and clip it there. Create a better piece of so yes, I'll see what that'll be a good I mean, a lot of that whole thing is like, see the bigness of what we're talking about, right? was so many things, very specific, right? This affects this, this affects this. I don't think I've ever done a workshop where I did an hour of literal like this creates that
Follow the
problem,
mountain
this
ball.
creates that problem, this creates that problem. I've definitely done plenty of these, I've been plenty of my work and made about all the problems and the statistics are terrible. If we don't make changes, we're all gonna get sicker and sicker. But like to actually just go break it down step by step of how these things, how this affects this over here, it's almost wild, like I've never done that before. And prepping for this and going through, let's talk about these actual pathways of how this, so people can see it. And then go, this isn't just a theory, this isn't some idea, this is very well understood science for those of us who study it. And once you understand that, I was like, so I don't have to keep being depressed.
Okay, what I don't understand is, but you gave part of the answer. Where does the microbiome live? Is it
In
that
your
one
large intestine,
in,
that's where the majority of the good gut bacteria is in your large intestine. Well, your microbiome is all the bacteria, and we need balance there. And we eat mostly good stuff, right? There's always going to be some bad stuff doing its thing. But again, bacteria, viruses, all that stuff, we live synergistically. Some of them are there just for the purpose of causing your immune system to respond appropriately and stay strong like a muscle. You know?
of all the PR rooms and all the world for all the years that people have seen inside people's gut? How is it only in the last 5 years we knew this stuff was there?
Well, it's been longer than that. But like anything, science keeps we continue to uncover what God designed for the kingdom. That's literally what it is, right? We get really excited in the scientific community. Look what we discovered. I'm like, discovery is the right key because you didn't create, you didn't invent, you didn't develop. You just discovered what was already there.
Just found out.
Yeah, it's every drug. And there's
So,
there's no
so the
concern
microbiome
about
is large intestine only, or supposed to be.
in general, that's what can I say there's no bacteria in other areas? No, I wouldn't say that.
The one cell thickness membrane.
That's the gut lining through the entire intestine. I mean, from here all the way down the back.
Okay, so that's the,
So like even your stomach line, and think about that. It's one cell thick and it's different. It's a different type of cell. It's in there protecting that stomach acid. Churning.
almost, you can imagine if you took a pig and inhaled a balloon, and think the balloon filled.
Yeah, exactly. Would be your gut lining. Yep. If we stuck the balloon in your mouth and pulled it up until it came off the other end, you don't want those.
Yeah.
Balloons like a balloon from Mars or whatever.
Me, and you-
That's exactly where it would be. That's exactly right. One of my mentors used to talk about he would in his old office, kind of like our office. He would go back and grab nerves. He would drag it through. This is your digestive. It's an enclosed system from one end to the other. Yeah. They can be challenging. And that's the problem. So you take it and you're like, oh, I'm just gonna take it.
No, I was.
But
Did you move
weaken
seats?
your foundation.
Did you move
Lean
seats?
muscle, bone density,
That chair was in.
Is it?
and then, yeah, I mean, you just get weaker. So, if you're not made, lifestyle changes. You just keep gaining. Now you got this muscle. That's gonna be so, that's where we want to really, really We have to be very, very clear. And yeah, it is something very short. We can tell them.
You said I'm all right. When you said I'm all right, I said I'm all right. I said, well, that's why I
Only Mike can come and get it.
And we working out, putting on new muscle, doing everything you can to keep the bone together. Get off the snake. You have to wake up. Okay, we should make that
Do you
argument.
know how to spell your email on your phone?
Truly do. Come out okay in the long run, probably. You're gonna have to still do some healing.
Do you know how to spell your email on your phone? Can I show you?
But for starters, let's just say, what does that look like after the fact? How do you create a better habit? That's what we're looking at. Well, yeah. I mean, there's a time and a place for thoughts. Are we? Yeah, you can. That might have been the first time we were on a break and stayed on time.
AT&T. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
I like the answer. I like the answer.
We're still in the early process.
Why do your emails only go to 2024?
We can say it.
What's your email? This is your.
Okay, I'm gonna have to restart yours because this is the other one. Well,
The ones over there, if you go sit on any of
feel
them.
like well, you shouldn't have to restart your time.
Rosie, you don't get to win, just FYI.
I don't. Go eat. Who has a cut problem like me? Do you ever cut?
Who likes free stuff?
Who likes free stuff?
There we go.
Okay. So we're gonna first raffle off this cool Max Living water bottle.
They're mixed up.